You can't just let some guy mess with your driveway like this. Do you even understand the liability?
I was just trying to keep from falling.
I didn't stop because the driveway looked bad from the street or because the cracks were starting to show. I stopped because the slope was wrong, the edge had chipped away, and the water kept pooling right where someone had to step every single day. The house sat low and wide with brick walls and yellow shutters that had faded evenly over time, the kind of place that looked cared for even when money was tight. The man who lived there came out slowly while I was working the bottom seam wearing a soft-brimmed hat and shoes that looked too thin for the way the concrete dropped toward the curb. He told me he wasn't sick, not exactly. His balance just wasn't what it used to be after a stroke a few years back, and his doctor had warned him about falls. He said he used to keep the driveway clean himself back when his hands were steady and his legs trusted each other, but now he planned his steps like he was crossing ice. Hiring a company wasn't an option. He lived off a fixed check, and most of it went to medication and keeping the lights on. The driveway had become one more thing he hoped wouldn't betray him. I started at the lowest edge, letting the washer lift years of grit and algae while the water ran away clean instead of collecting. Halfway through, a neighbor from down the block walked over arms folded, asking if I had permission, asking if I knew the city could find people for work like this. The man didn't argue. He didn't explain his medical history or the nights he lay awake thinking about slipping and not being able to get back up. He just stood there quietly, eyes on the ground, like he'd learned long ago that explaining doesn't always help. I kept working not to prove a point, but because every pass of clean concrete made the slope safer and the surface honest again. When I finished, he tested it with one careful step, then another, and for the first time, he stood without grabbing the doorframe. He thanked me like someone who hadn't asked for help but desperately needed it. So here's my question for you. If you see something that could keep an older neighbor on their feet, do you step in or do you walk past and call it not your business?